Monday, March 25th. We're almost done with March. And then you get into April, and then it really feels like we're almost done because April's just right next to May. We're getting to the end of the school year. Let's pull up our lesson this week so we can get through here and see what it holds for us. Oh, this is a fun week. We have a different kind of assignment this week. We're looking at 2.05 vulnerabilities, career connection. The next week we'll have our exam over this module and move on. This is a good one. This is not just a quiz this week. We got a little bit more work to do with this week's, but let's see what lesson goes with that. I'm not sure. There it is. Vulnerabilities, career connection. This is a big one. All right, back to the basics. What are the most basic things you need to do to be successful at work? This is a good discussion this week, guys. Life skills. Soft skills. Let's see how they define that. That's personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people. That's certainly a skill we need in life, and certainly in a job. You got to be able to have harmony and interact effectively with others. So soft skills are how you function in the workplace and interact with those around you. At the most basic level, employees must be on time, dress appropriately for their job, take initiative to get things done, and work well with others. These are all considered soft skills, and they make the difference between a mediocre employee and a great employee. The National Association of Colleges and Employers, NACE, used 260 survey responses, many of them from big corporations, Chevron, IBM, to compile a list of the top 10 most wanted skills in potential employees. To possess the top 5 skills in this list, you only need 2 things: strong personal and interpersonal skills. So let's look at the top 10 skills that these businesses want. Ability to work in a team structure. Can you work with others? Ability to make decisions and solve problems. Problem solving. That's what they need. They don't want to have to tell everyone everything they have to do. They want people to solve problems on their own. The ability to communicate verbally with people inside and outside the organization. You're with your coworkers and with your customers or clients. The ability to plan, organize, and prioritize work. And being a virtual student, you're developing a lot of that right now. You probably are. You guys already have it. So other students are still working. Ability to obtain and process information. Again, virtually, you have to obtain and process a lot of it on your own as well. So look at the bottom 5 here. The ability to analyze quantitative data. Let's see how they define that. Data expressing a certain quantity, amount, or a range. Usually there are measurements units associated with the data. So yeah, charts, graphs, lists of numbers, sales numbers, production numbers, whatever quantitative data they have. Of course, technical knowledge related to the job. So that's specific for each job. Proficiency with computer software programs. You have a lot of that. You're developing more every day. The ability to create and or edit written reports. Can you write sentences? Can you explain things with words on paper or on a screen? And the ability to sell and influence others. And selling doesn't necessarily mean selling a product. You could be selling an idea. You're influencing others. You're convincing people of a path. So these are things that can make employees great. If you can develop these 10 skills, you will go far. Almost all employers agree on one thing: they can hire and train anyone. But if you don't have a lot of these skills, these are a lot of things that can't be trained. It's hard for them to keep the job. You got to develop these skills yourself. They got to really train you how to be a problem solver. They can't train you how to make decisions. That has to be something that you develop, that you're a decision maker. All right, let's look at page 2. Positive work behaviors. Technical knowledge and skills are unquestionably important. However, employers also look for potential employees with a positive work attitude. Right? Attitude is the way you think, you feel, and you act. Values typically impact the employee's attitude at work. So check out some of the core values that will impact the way that you live in the way. Pride, right? Pride prevents you from doing just enough to get by. They want you to be proud of the work you do. You should be proud of what you accomplish in your job. If you're not proud of what you do, then you're not going to do any more than you have to. I'm going to do the bare minimum and get on. If you're not proud of what you do, you're in the wrong job. First off, you need to find a job that you feel like you're making an impact, something you're proud to get up and go do, and that will help you to do a better job just there. If you know everything you do at work or school has your name and signature on it, you'll give it your best shot and nothing less. Passion, a burning desire and intense enthusiasm for all things worth doing. That'll pull you through the challenges of work. If you think your job is something important, if you're proud of what you're doing, you'll have passion for it. It's worth doing. I need to do it well. Belief. You must take personal responsibility for success and believe that nothing's impossible and you can learn from your mistakes and move on. And that's the thing. Even at work, we're going to make mistakes. We make mistakes in our school work. We make mistakes in our relationships. We're going to make mistakes at work. But learning from those mistakes is important and taking responsibility and trying to fix what you can fix. Hey, I made a mistake. I messed that up. How can I fix this? But know you can achieve all you set out to do for yourself. Just start believing in yourself. Work ethic. Oh, this is a good one. What does that term mean to you? Work ethic is generally associated with working hard and doing a good job. If you have good work ethic, you don't have to be told, hey, you need to go do that. If you have a good work ethic, you'll go over and say, oh, that needs to be done. I'll sit here and wait and see if somebody wants me to do it, if somebody else is going to do it. See, that's not a good work ethic. A good work ethic is like, you see something needs to be done. Oh, let's go take care of that. Or if you're in a position of authority over others, hey, Chuck, can you go over and take care of that over there? That needs to be done. Seeing things need to be done, taking the initiative to get it done. Good work ethic. Many characteristics of work ethic can be summarized in 3 terms. Interpersonal skills. So I'm dealing with Chuck. Chuck, would you please do this? Initiative. I see something needs to be done. I don't wait on someone to tell me to do it. I take the initiative to make sure that gets taken care of. And dependability. That doesn't just happen every once in a while. I'm always looking to make sure that everything's getting done. So, and a positive attitude usually creates that good work ethic. If I'm proud of my job, if I'm proud of the stuff that my company does, then I'm going to try to make sure, oh, let's get that taken care of. Oh, that over there, I need to get that done because I think it matters. All right, page 3. Attitude quotient survey. This is great. So this is something I'm going to let you guys do. We're not going to do it as a class because you're rating yourself. The following 14 attitude traits are important to your ability to work. A high rating will help you win the approval of your coworkers and the applause of your boss. How do you measure up? So rate yourself with 5 being the highest, 1 is the lowest. Who are you? Rate yourself. So we'll take a look at these together. But I don't want you to tell me what you rate. I don't want to do this as a class. Just want you to be able to do this yourself. I'll go ahead and let's just put some in for me here. Clean. All right, I'm about a 4 nowadays. I'm not totally clean. I'm a little messy. Courteous. I am courteous to people. I'm gonna say a 3 on organized. Enthusiastic. Yes, I'm dependable. I cooperate. I'm dedicated to doing that. So I'm just rating myself here. Able to adjust well to change. Most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time. Helpful. Yes, I can be very helpful. Ambitious. I don't know. Right now, I don't feel ambitious because I'm tired from spring break. I'm going to give myself a 4. Showing initiative, again, I'm just kind of accepting of constructive criticism. Most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time. I'm going to be honest with myself. Okay, sometimes I get a little defensive. Following directions, I can do that. Yes, I can. I can be very tactful. I got a 63. All right, 63 to 70 is really good. Apparently, head of the top. Take pride in yourself. So just as a little rating, maybe if I'm more honest with myself, maybe okay, maybe I'm organized as a 2, clean as a 3. But yeah, so anyway, you can do that just to kind of give yourself a rating. Let's look at page 4. Self-awareness. Understanding your personal values is important when deciding on a career path. Can you envision where you're going to be in 10 years? That's a good question. That's a good question to ask. Where am I going to be in 10 years? Because you're getting close to the end. Well, Laura, you're a senior actually, so you really are at the end of your high school education. Is there a career that really interests you? Have you thought about how much money you want to make or make in that career? Is that going to meet your needs of what you want to do with your life? And a lot of times, your senior year of high school, even you may not have that figured out, but there's time. Money is not always the most important thing to everyone. That's true. Um, I could have gone a lot of career paths and made a lot of money. I didn't make a lot of money, but I made enough money for everything I wanted in life. We was talking about this weekend with the wedding. We had 3 daughters, and my wife said when we were young and just had those 3 kids, it's like, how are we going to pay for braces for 3 kids? Because braces aren't cheap. How are we going to pay for cars for 3 kids? Because cars ain't cheap. And then how are we going to pay for 3 weddings? Well, all the kids are married now. They all had cars. They all had braces. We made it somehow. We had enough money for everything we wanted to do. We own a house. It's paid off. We'll retire in 10 years or something. And we've made the money we wanted to make. Not wealthy. I couldn't retire today if I wanted to. So you gotta seriously look at those values for yourself. How important is it that I have money? Do I need a lot of money or do I need just this much money? And that may determine the career you want to go into. But it's important to reflect on what you personally value. See, I valued a lot of time with those kids growing up and with my wife. So I didn't want to take one of those jobs where, some of these people, they'll work till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I got to get it and really trying to climb that corporate ladder and be a vice president of the company or president of the company. But you have to sacrifice a lot of time at home and put a lot more time in the office. I wasn't willing to do that. My personal values is I wanted to be with the kids when they're growing up. Wanted to go home with my wife every night after work. So, what kind of life do you want to lead? And there's nothing wrong if you want to be real successful. Just know what you're trading off, because it's a trade off. You might decide on a high paying job that requires a lot of travel. That's true. Not a lot of time at home. If you get a job with a lot of travel, you're not going to spend that much time with a spouse or kids. Every job comes with certain trade offs, but only you can decide what you can and can't live with. What cannot live with. It's important to find something you do really well and consider all the scenarios. Ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to take on new challenges. Like I say, I love this lesson. This is good stuff here. Words of wisdom. All right, let's look at these quotes. Think about what they mean to you. Great things never came from comfort zones. I love that one because we're real big about staying in our comfort zone. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to go do that. That makes me a little anxious or a little scared to do that, or maybe I'm comfortable here. I'm lazy. And that's too much work. There's lots of reasons we like to stay in our comfort zones. But this is a really, really good quote. Great things never came from comfort zones. Good fortune is what happens when opportunity meets planning. We may plan a lot of things and hope we get that opportunity. But if the opportunity comes along and we haven't planned for it, a lot of times we can't take advantage of it. Thomas Edison, good quote. I've heard this one a lot. By failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. Opportunity comes along, we blow it. We weren't prepared. Love it. When you have a task to do, you need to prepare. Plan it out. This is great. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Oh, think about that with a sports metaphor. Some of these athletes that are just naturally gifted, but if they don't practice, hey, I'll show up to practice an hour late because I'm better than you guys. I've seen some lesser teams beat better teams because those teams worked hard and they worked hard as a team. Where these guys were just kind of, hey, we're a lot better than these guys. We're going to beat these guys easily, and they don't try hard. They don't work hard. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Love this. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. Lou Holtz, famous coach there. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. And finally, Denzel Washington with our last quote: fall forward. I notice he didn't say don't fall because we're all going to fall. But he's saying fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. So when you fall, make sure it's a step forward. I learned something from that mistake. I am closer to achieving what I want because I'm better because of that mistake. Some people, they fail and they fall backwards and they never try again. It knocked them off the path. Nope, I failed. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. Fall forward. I love it. That's a great. Thanks, Denzel. That's a great quote. Also. All right, let's look at our assignment this week. I like this. I probably ought to put a template. I probably ought to put a template for us on this too. Get ready to discover and reflect on advice for joining the workforce. So here's our project this week. I don't know that I need to put a template. Oh,
I believe that file is the template. It says this is what you're going to be writing on.
Oh, yeah. When you click on that, it does take you to. Let me open this up. Let's take a look at it. You're right. That file is the template. So here's what opened up when I clicked on it. It is a separate document, so you'll get that. All right. Part 1. Interview a trusted adult and ask them to give you 3 pieces of advice regarding joining the workforce. Now, you guys may already have jobs, but this is not going to be like your life career job, most likely. This is your high school job. So ask them to give you 3 pieces of advice. Here's some examples. You don't have to use these questions, but here's some examples. What do you wish you had known before you started working? What's something you learned after being in the workforce for a few years? What would you do differently if you could start over? What would you tell someone who's just starting their career? What skills have you acquired that you wish you would have had when you started your career? Those are really good questions. Those are really good questions. But you want at least 3 pieces of advice. So here's where you fill in what question did you ask? Right there. What advice did they give you? Well, you don't have to put it in there. You can put it underneath here. What advice did they give you? And then after you do that, get 3 questions, 3 pieces of advice. Then you're going to answer these questions. Which piece of advice do you think is most valuable for you? And that may be different. The exact same answers could be different for different people. Why do you think that's most valuable for you? Do you think it's important to ask people with more experience for career advice? Why or why not? And again, there's no wrong answer. This is for you. What does the phrase soft skills mean? And which two do you consider most important? All right. So that's it. That's the end of it. You submit this, just turn it into Google Classroom. And there's the rubric I use to grade it. It's worth 40 points. You get the 40 to 30 points if you have all 3 sections completed and you answered them all fully. If you don't get all 3 sections completed or don't answer them fully, you'll get less points. But there's no wrong answers. That's the great thing. Figure out 3 questions you would ask some trusted adult and answer these 3 on your own. I like it. I'll just say, may be able to. I'm not going to say that. You can turn it in Google Classroom, or you can here. It does have where you can attach the file in Buzz as well. If you turn it into Google Classroom, just go here and say in Google Classroom. Just let me know in Buzz to go look for it because I don't always look in Google Classroom unless I know I need to. So you can put it in Buzz or Google Classroom or both. I don't care. Just turn it in somewhere. Good stuff, guys. That's all we got this week. I remember this one was coming up. I looked at this a few weeks ago and I said, "Oh, this is good stuff because this is life appropriate right here." So even if you're going to be in cybersecurity or some other field, this is good stuff. All right, guys, go tackle the week. Let's get the school year over. We just got a couple of months. The beginning of the end. Have a great week, guys.